I'm a believer in schooling. I'm a believer in education. And I totally am serious when I say my career suffered because, if you can say it that way, you know, it's like I kind of, one of my biggest regrets is not having gone to music school and being properly prepared when I became a composer. I scored my own films. That's how I got my start. I was making little movies in Akron, Ohio. It was before promo videos or anything, but song length was a good size for a film for us, so we made our own films and then put our own music in it. Making a living writing music, there's a lot of different, you know, you have to be a little bit creative, but there's different ways to get into it. You know, if you're at school and you know somebody that's making a movie, you know, do their music for them for free. It's not a bad way to, you know, it's a good way. Might be one of the easier, more pleasant ways to get started in the business. I started by scoring TV shows first. A friend of mine who I knew from the Groundlings had created this character called Pee Wee Herman, and he'd asked me to score his live theater show, and I was always traveling with Devo and didn't get a chance to work with him, and he asked me to score his film, and I didn't get a chance to work with him because I was touring with Devo, and then he said, will you score my TV show? And by that point, Devo had signed this horrible contract where I think the record company was called the Titanic, and us and about 30 other bands all just kind of were like slowly riding it down together, huddled like rats on the end of the bow, watching the owner of the company with a big bag of money, like just rowing away from the Titanic by himself. And I said, sure, Paul, I'd love to score your TV show. You know, when I first started the show, I was a little nervous because I didn't really go to school to be a composer. Then I just learned a lot of lessons on the job that it took me about 10 years to learn what I could have learned in a couple years of school. I made quite a few errors. In fact, I didn't learn until the end of the first season about something called time code, which would have been very valuable because I spent the whole first year of Pee Wee's Playhouse, 13 episodes. I would turn on the show, and then I'd go to my multi-track tape recorder and turn it on, you know, like, and then as soon as the scene started, I'd start playing what I had to play, and then the fun part was then trying to put tracks on top of that track. It was kind of a crazy mess, and it was only at the end of the last season where I was talking to one of the engineers on the show, and he just happened to say, how come you never send anything locked up to picture? You just send us the mixes without time code. And I go, what's that? And that's when I learned, and then everything became 100 times easier after that. You know, there were so many little things that, as a matter of fact, scoring films, I was afraid to score a film because I wasn't confident about orchestrating, and so I for a long time avoided scoring films and just did TV because I felt really safe there. And I owe that to the fact that I didn't take any classes in music at Kent State. I should have been taking some music classes instead of just all art classes. Working with Wes Anderson, I've done 4 films with him, and every one of them the process has been slightly different, and a lot of that has to do with his becoming more sophisticated at the art of filmmaking, and also at working with music. He's learned about scoring films along the way too, and I remember on the first film, Bottle Rocket, I met him after he'd already shot and edited the film, and Sony was having a panic attack because they thought his movie was going to be like Tom Hanks in Big. I don't know why they thought that. I don't know why they thought those movies. They thought it was going to be a totally different kind of movie, and they didn't know where to find a composer that they could work with. And Wes just mentioned that he liked me, and so we met, and I saw the movie, and I thought the movie was great, and so we got to work. But I remember he wouldn't let me use bass instruments in the first movie. There was a lot of high-pitched. He likes things like harpsichords and flutes and piccolos and high-pitched instruments, and I didn't even get to use a trombone until Royal Tannenbaums. I put a couple things in a MIDI mock-up for him for Gene Hackman reactions, and I remember him going, "What was that?" And I go, "A trombone," and he goes, So we ended up. So that was the first movie I got to use brass section on. To me, I see him as coming from the same place, because when I was growing up and becoming an artist, when I was just forming my ideas of what I wanted to do when I for the rest of my life, I was looking to people like Andy Warhol for inspiration. I was thinking, it's so great. He's not trapped by any one technology or any one kind of medium. He works with ideas, and he works with concepts, and he's got he designs fashion, and he throws great parties, and he produces Velvet Underground, and he does album covers, and he paints, and he takes photographs, and I like that kind of a career. That sounds like so much more fun. And so when we first started Devo, I don't think we were thinking of ourselves as a performance band, really. In a way, we were kind of like some sort of an agitprop thinking man's version of what, like a dummied down version could either have been Kiss for a live band, or it could have been Blue Man Group, is more like what we were thinking of ourselves. We thought we weren't going to really go out on stage. We were just going to write this stuff, and we were going to put out 3 or 4 bands called Devo, because they'd do this performance where we'd design these films, and we'd design this stage show, and we'd write this music, and we'd just have like good-looking young kids go out and do it, and we didn't have to do it. We could stay back home and just do our artwork and make our posters and come up with the next tour, whatever it was going to be. And that's what we really thought we were doing. But anyhow, so I still think my visual art and my sonic art come from the same place because of that. Because in a way, I think everything I do is kind of a permutation of Devo. That's kind of an honor. That's a definite honor. Who do I get to thank for that? I think the online scholarship is both. I feel honored that I got chosen for my name to be on one. I hope that whoever is awarded this scholarship, I hope they feel as lucky as I feel to be part of it. Just getting to have an education in the world of music is such a great thing. There weren't really any opportunities like that when I was a kid. Like, I wish I would have had more confidence and ammunition when I first started in this business. And I think an education is really the best way to get that confidence.